And you go up and down each and everything that happened in this game. And really from the first quarter on, it was complete domination. Complete domination by the Philadelphia Eagles. Defensively, the Giants couldn't run against them. And yes, Daniel Jones made a lot of mistakes. And a lot of people say Daniel Jones didn't show up in the big game. He just didn't show up in the big game. I beg to differ. His numbers show that he didn't show up in the game, but his offensive line didn't protect him. And Saquon Barkley couldn't get hot. You saw in the first game, in the wild card game, how did the offense pick up? How did it open up the field? How did it open up for guys like some of the wide receivers that they have? It opened up because of the running game. And all the different weapons that the Giants had in the wild card game couldn't open up. And it has a lot to do with some of the defensive players that the Eagles have. Johnson. And the different players that they can defend against on the Giants. Now, I know a lot of people looking at this game, and they're going to go up and down each and every roster of the game and attack the Giants just because the rosters were weak. I look at the Giants as a whole. And going into this game, I thought they had the better coach. Dable has shown this year to be a great coach under pressure. Wink Martindale has shown that it didn't matter how good the offense was or how strong the offense was. He found a way to stop the offense and stop the bleeding early in the game. But in this particular game, the Giants couldn't stop the bleeding. There were too many weapons, too much talent. A.J. Brown, Smith, Sanders, Boston Scott. All these guys were dominating at the line of scrimmage. And again, the offensive line, Johnson wasn't 100% healthy. Obviously, had a high ankle sprain. He hasn't been healthy going into the second half of the season. He was limping off the field every time he stepped on the field. But this has been one of the best offensive lines, if not the best offensive line in football. You look at Philadelphia, yes, they are far out the superior team. But we have seen this before. We've seen the Giants knock off superior teams. If you remember, in 2007, in the Super Bowl, the undefeated New England Patriots. Nobody thought that the Giants had a chance in that game. Plaxico Borges did. Eli Manning did. Michael Strahan did. O.C. Umenyor did. And that's the difference. And to me, the Giants didn't have a chance. And you sit back and you try to look at everything, all the aspects and the statistics of this game. There was none. Because the Giants just didn't show up really didn't show up to this game. Now, going into the offseason, the Giants have a lot of decisions to make. They do. Saquon Barkley, as we heard Joe Shane speak at the press conference, the final press conference, and obviously Brian Dable spoke about Daniel Jones and interesting things that they said. The plan is that he'll be involved with the 2023 season. They're going to franchise, probably tag him, $31.5 million. The deadline is March 7th, so I believe they will. Contract projections for Daniel Jones is 3 years, $75 million. For a quarterback that played the way he did this year, it's absolutely worth it to give him a 3-year extension, $75 million. An average quarterback at market value right now is making $32 million a year. Greg Jennings says Daniel Jones is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL right now. And a lot of people would think that. Over 3,000 yards. 600 yards running. Jalen Hurts, the quarterback that he played in this divisional game, is him and Josh Allen the only two quarterbacks that had those numbers throughout the season. Not Patrick Mahomes, Not Justin Herbert or Tua or any of these quarterbacks that have good legs and can run and throw on the run. None of those guys. It's only 3 quarterbacks.